Tens of thousands of people move to the Seattle area every year, but most of them don't know what they're getting into. Today, I'm sharing my honest hot takes about living here in 2026. The good, the bad, and the stuff nobody tells you until it's too late. After helping hundreds of families relocate here, I've seen what actually surprises people. So let's talk about it. Let's start with the big one, right? The weather. I mean, look outside right now. It's gray. It'll be gray tomorrow. Actually, we're getting some sun this week, which is unusual, but here's the thing. When people move to Seattle, they know it rains. They've heard about it. What they don't expect is how consistent it is. It's not dramatic storms or crazy weather events. It's just gray. From October through May, it's a steady, constant gray that kind of becomes the backdrop of your life. Winter temperatures hang in the mid-40s. You're not dealing with freezing cold or extreme heat. It's just this temperate, wet, consistently gray situation. The movie 50 Shades of Grey was based in Seattle for a reason. The region gets significant rainfall from October through May with an annual average of about 37 inches. That marine air off the Pacific brings in low clouds that keep things cloudy a lot of the time, and the Olympic Mountains to the west create a rain shadow effect that influences these patterns. So yes, the weather is monotonous. That's probably the best word for it. But here's what most people miss. When we get to the real estate section, I'll show you exactly how lot sizes here compare to what you're probably used to. The difference is pretty shocking. But here's the silver lining, and I think this is really important. Seattle in the summer, absolutely incredible. I mean, when people talk about the best weather in the country, Seattle summers are right up there. July and August average less than 1 inch of rain each month. The temperatures hit the 70s, sometimes in the 80s and 90s. In 2025, we saw record highs of 94 to 95 degrees in July. And yes, we've even hit 100 before. You get these long daylight hours, dry conditions, and just perfect weather for everything outdoors. That's when this place really shines. And because of all the rain the rest of the year, everything stays green. I mean, the vegetation here is incredibly healthy and lush year-round. That's why they call it the Emerald City. So yes, the winters test your patience, but those summers make it worth sticking around. So let's talk about something that affects you year-round, whether it's sunny or gray. If you're seriously considering a move to Seattle in 2026, I help relocating families understand the reality of living here beyond just the highlights. Don't hesitate to get in touch. My contact information is in the description below. I'd love to hear from you. So let's get back to the video. Seattle traffic. Oh my God, we are the 10th most congested in the nation. Imagine you're sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-5. You've moved maybe half a mile in 20 minutes. Welcome to Seattle. Seattle ranks as the 10th most congested city in the US as of 2025. That's according to the INRIX Global Traffic Scorecard. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, on average, Seattle drivers lost 68 hours to traffic congestion in 2025. That's almost 3 full days sitting in your car going nowhere. And it costs the average driver about $1,252 annually. If you're doing a cross-lake commute or traveling along the I-5 corridor during peak hours, you're looking at 60 minutes or more. Easy. And it's gotten worse recently. That's 40% more time lost to traffic than the average US commuter. Return to office mandates, aging infrastructure, ongoing construction, it all adds up. Carrie and I were just talking about this the other day. The construction that's happening, especially on the bridges and major corridors, it is brutal right now. It's going to improve things eventually though. So stay with me, because when we get to the hills later on the video, I'll explain how that same topography causing traffic nightmares also gives you amazing hikes at your doorstep and ski access in under an hour. So what's the silver lining here? 2 things. First, a lot of companies, especially in tech, still allow partial work from home environments. You don't have to be on the road every day. That flexibility helps a ton. And second, if you have any control over your schedule, the window between 10 to 2 is phenomenal. I mean, you can get anywhere during the time frame super fast. It's actually great. So let your boss know those are your working hours. Problem solved. But seriously, the Link light rail system is expanding fast. We've got 40 plus miles of track with 50 stations now, serving well over 100,000 passengers every weekday. And there's more coming. The Federal Way Link extension opened in December, and the remainder of the 2 line connecting the east side to Seattle across I-90 is expected in early 2026. Actually, as of the time I'm shooting this video, it is running. So looking ahead, the Ballard Link extension will add 7.7 miles with 9 new stations by 2039, and the West Seattle Link extension will add 4.1 miles by 2032. So yes, traffic is rough, but there are ways to work around it, and the infrastructure keeps improving, which brings us naturally to what all this commuting costs you beyond just time. Let's talk cost of living. Oh my God, food is expensive. Here is the number that stopped me cold. Seattle earned the distinction of being the most expensive US city for takeout in 2025, with cost 29% above the national average. And let me give you the context. I ordered takeout sushi the other day. Nothing fancy, a couple rolls and some pieces, 14 pieces, 51 bucks. $51 for takeout sushi that wasn't even from a high-end place. It was delicious, but wow. For overall dining, Seattle ranks second only to San Francisco, with menu prices 17% higher than the average of the 20 largest US cities, 1% higher than New York City, and get this, Washington has the highest chain restaurant prices in the nation at 13.6% above the national average. Very few other states even come close to that premium. So yeah, groceries, restaurants, everyday food costs, it's all significantly more expensive than most places. But here's the silver lining, and I think this matters. First, the higher paying jobs here help offset these costs. The median salary in Seattle is $76,000. If you're in tech, especially AI roles, engineers earn between $137,000 and $233,000. So you're paying more, but you're also likely earning more. And second, this is important, the quality is actually incredible, especially Asian food. Seattle has some of the best sushi in the country. My daughter Isabella lives in New York City now, and she's like, Dad, the sushi here sucks compared to Seattle. And that's New York City. They've got everything, every cuisine imaginable, but she says Seattle's sushi is better. If you want hidden gems, I've got a couple neighborhood spots. Star and Aoki are my go-to sushi places in Capitol Hill, just a few blocks away from me. Not fancy, pricey omakase, just really high quality, authentic spots that go to time and time again. Fantastic. So yes, you're paying a premium, but you're getting premium quality, and that higher earning potential makes it work. Now let's talk about something that affects everyone who moves here, regardless of what you're spending on dinner. It's the Seattle freeze. Yes, you've probably heard about it, and look, it's real. I'm not going to tell you it's a myth or whatever. It's a documented social phenomenon here. Recent studies examining census data and migration patterns confirm what transplants experience. It's genuinely difficult for newcomers to make friends in Seattle. People attribute it to different things. The gray weather doesn't help. The city has Nordic immigrant heritage. There's this cultural tendency towards introversion. People are polite but reserved. They'll say, we should hang out sometime. And then nothing, crickets. It's not that people are unfriendly, it's just harder to break through and build real friendships here compared to other cities. So what's the solution? Get a dog. Seriously, Carrie can back me up on this. Dogs make all the difference. I've got a dog, and when I'm out walking Kenji, people stop and talk. They'll say, hey, cute dog. Suddenly you're having a conversation. It's a natural conversation starter that breaks through that reserve. Carrie just had somebody stop him the other day to talk about his dog. It works. Community members and social media influencers have identified dog walking as an effective social bridge here. It's genuinely one of the best strategies for making connections. So pro tip, if you're moving to Seattle and worried about the freeze, bring a dog, get one when you arrive, wave at people, start conversations, be proactive about it. The social landscape takes effort, but it's not impossible. Understanding that up front changes how you approach building your life here. So speaking of building your life, let's talk about what that actually costs in terms of housing. The classic Seattle lot measures 50 feet by 100 feet. Picture that for a second, that's 5,000 square feet, about 1/8 of an acre. As of December 2025, median home prices in Seattle in the mid 700s to low 800 range. That still exists today here as of March. So that's based on cross-referencing Redfin and Zillow data. The market has seen a 6.5% decrease year over year, according to Redfin, so we're in a bit of a correction phase right now after several years of rapid appreciation. Looking ahead to 2026, forecasters are predicting modest growth, somewhere around 1 to 4%, depending on which source you look at. So we're expecting a stabilization rather than dramatic changes. Nothing wrong with stability. Here's what really surprises people, and this is important if you're coming from an area with more land. The classic Seattle residential lot is 50 feet wide by 100 feet deep. That's about 5,000 square feet total, roughly an eighth of an acre. Pretty standard here. So if you're coming from Texas or the suburbs somewhere with half acre, 3 acre lots, that's a significant adjustment, right? It's getting denser. In July 2025, Seattle eliminated single-family zoning. Every lot can now accommodate at least 3 homes, with some eligible for up to 6 units. Under the new neighborhood residential rules, 4-unit projects like fourplexes, townhomes, or cottage clusters are now allowed on lots that used to be single-family only. So what does that mean for you? Less space, less privacy, you're closer to your neighbors than you might be used to, potentially no yards. That's just the reality of urban living here. The city is committed to increasing density to address housing supply issues. Now, the silver lining here is walkability and access. You get urban amenities. Downtown, Belltown, Capitol Hill, U District, all have walk scores exceeding 90 or close to it. You can walk to restaurants, shops, transit. You're not dependent upon driving everywhere like you do in many areas. But if you're someone who needs a big yard and space between you and your neighbors, you need to adjust your expectations or look outside the city core. The density trades square footage for location and access, and that trade-off becomes even clearer when you factor in something most people completely underestimate about Seattle. It's the hills. Here's something people don't realize until they get here. Seattle is really hilly, like surprisingly hilly. The city was originally built on 7 major hills: Capitol Hill, First Hill, Beacon Hill, Queen Anne Hill, and others, with elevations ranging from sea level to over 500 feet. Between 1897 and 1930, they did massive regrading projects that flattened some of the steepest hills, but there's still significant topography throughout the city. So if you're planning to walk everywhere, you might want to reconsider. Some neighborhoods are great for walking, but those elevation changes can be brutal if you're not prepared for them. Carrie was mentioning the topography the other day. People just don't realize how much it affects daily life here. But here's the positive side of those hills. The views are incredible. Because of the elevation changes, you get these panoramic vistas throughout the city. The Seattle skyline, Puget Sound, the Cascade Mountains, the Olympic Mountains. It is stunning. So yeah, the hills make walking more challenging, but they give you incredible views and quick access to world-class skiing and outdoor recreation. It's a trade-off, but for a lot of people, it's absolutely worth it. And those mountains are just the beginning of what makes outdoor access here so exceptional. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of challenges, but every challenge here has a silver lining. It's about understanding what you're getting into and adjusting your expectations. The families who thrive here are the ones who stop fighting Seattle's quirks and start leveraging them. If you're thinking about relocating to Seattle and want the unfiltered truth about neighborhoods, market conditions right now, just email me at hello@mwagnerteam.com. I help families make this move without regrets. Reach out to me today. Before you go, check out the video I've linked here breaking down Seattle's neighborhoods, and it's exactly what you need after hearing these hot takes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.